13 hours for Vancouver to get notified as a city about that spill happening, and many, many hours for those booms to be put up. And what I found out, and what I have affirmed by asking every individual and responsible bodies around this, is there is no plan that integrates the federal government, the Coast Guard, the province, and the local cities in advance, a plan in place in the event of an oil spill. No plan. And Coast Guard has been cut back in funding. So, they're talking about moving forward in a case where there's just, we are so much at risk. Oh, and I also found out that in the Kalamazoo oil spill, the amount of oil that they cleaned up was paltry compared to what was spilled. But more importantly, they cleaned up almost 12 times the tonnage of waste. And I asked the question, what do you mean waste? And it was the soil, the sand, the bottom, the river bottom that they had to clean up to get at the oil. And I said, well, does that mean if there was a spill out here, every beach in Vancouver that oil lands on, or this area, every beach would have to have its soil scooped up and taken away? And they said yes. So imagine that, and tourism future. Anyway, I have the real pleasure of actually introducing you to another candidate who I've known by his work in Vancouver. Wes Regan, running in Vancouver East, is well known within the community. He former, I think he stepped aside, executive director of the Hastings Crossing Business Improvement Association. He really understands small business and local economy. Before working in community economic development and urban sustainability, Wes toured professionally throughout Japan and the United States and Canada, supporting acts like Biff Naked, Tegan and Sarah, and as a keyboardist for Australian pop star Ben Lee. Wes currently lives off of Commercial Drive, where he is the candidate for the riding there. He was born closer to the North Pole than likely anyone else here. So go to the tent afterwards where the candidates are and talk to him about that. My pleasure to introduce to you Wes Regan.
Thank you so much, Adrian. We're just going to plug my guitar in here. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about policy-related things. I want to share with you why in particular I was inspired to join the Green Party and accept a nomination in the riding in which I live. And it's a combination of things, really, but as we can see, the party has evolved a lot in the past few decades. And I actually think that because of the leadership within this party internationally, Canada and other countries are finally starting to catch up to the Green Party in terms of our policies, in terms of our economic priorities. I was reading just this morning that the IMF, that bastion of community-oriented thinking and ecological awareness, just actually released a report saying that it was time to move past this carbon-intensive economy and embrace renewables, and that the global economy was prosperity would basically depend on us making that shift now. So we've been leading this charge for a long time, and now even organizations like the IMF are catching up to us. So thank you for blazing that trail. I think that we can see by the quality of candidates that this election is going to be a breakthrough for the Green Party here in Canada. BC has cultivated some incredible leaders. We've been blessed to have Elizabeth May represent her riding here in our province and this party nationally, stand up for our rights when it comes to things like Bill C-51, which she was the first leader and MP to speak in opposition of. She didn't take the barometer or test the winds. She knew right away that was bad news. So those things to me are just some of the reasons why I've been really inspired to become more involved with this party as a longtime supporter and now stand as a candidate. So I'm going to share a little song now. I wrote this when the Sochi Olympics were going on. Many people, or some people might not know this, but the Green Party was the first party in Canada to have an openly gay leader and to stand up for same-sex marriage in our country. And so this song I thought I would play this song because I wrote this when the Sochi Olympics were going on, and there were some appalling treatment of people in communities by the government with incredibly homophobic, spiteful, laws. And when any one of us have our rights threatened, I feel that I have my rights threatened, and we need to stand up to defend one another, no matter what color, race, creed, background. And so for me, I felt inspired to write about that, and also feeling that in our country here, we need to always be vigilant. We need to stand up for our democratic rights. We need to stand up for our liberties, our privacy, all these things. So I wanted to share this song with you. It's a little mellow, but I hope you'll find it inspiring.
Darkness fell like a brood on your neck again. I could see it in your eyes, they shone so bright, some kind of fire inside. Can't help but feel that we've been here before, and we said then never again. Treated like a criminal for holding his hand, for holding his hand. Some kind of fire inside for being who you are. Some kind of fire inside for dreaming what you dream. Some kind of fire inside for loving who you love. Some kind of fire inside that won't go out. First they get the young just because we care, then they burn the books with ideas that aren't theirs, silence the songs that fill the air, and tell us how to love and care. First they came for thinkers and I didn't speak out, then they came for dreamers and I didn't speak out, then they came for lovers and I didn't speak out. Now who's gonna speak for me? There's some kind of fire inside for being who you are. There's some kind of fire inside for dreaming what you dream. Some kind of fire inside for loving who you love. There's some kind of fire inside that won't go out. For me, Elizabeth May, apparently. Who will speak for me when history repeats? When history repeats, there's some kind of fire inside that all of us have. Some kind of fire inside. I think it's called inspiration, maybe love. Fire inside, a will to stick up for ourselves and our communities. Fire inside, a determination to defend our coast. There's some kind of fire inside that we care deeply for our democracy. There's some kind of fire inside that we want to work together to improve our country. There's some kind of fire inside that we're very aware of our impacts and the future that lays ahead, and the fact that we have an obligation to those that come after us to leave this planet in better shape than when we found it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's just so inspiring to see you here today. Let's enjoy this afternoon together, and thank you.
Port Moody, Coquitlam.
So, hey folks, I see everyone is doing well. I put the sunglasses on, and that's my dog Tashish, so she's stealing the show. Welcome, Tashi. So, I'm neither John Belushi nor Dan Aykroyd, but I'm here to spread the word of the Greens. And as Adam introduced me, I'm the candidate for Port Moody Coquitlam. I look forward to working with my fellow candidates to bring the change to the country. And with your help, with your votes, we will succeed. Go Green, go!
Candidate in Burnaby South. He's an engineer, a filmmaker, motivated by the urgency of climate action. Born in Nanaimo, grew up in France, settled in Burnaby 4 years ago. He's got an engineering degree in Montreal. He's also got a certificate in filmmaking from New York. As an engineer, he has worked in the oil and gas industry, in mining, in emissions regulations, and in wind power. And he knows the dangers, and he knows the need to switch to a renewable energy economy. He's volunteered with Burnaby organizations including Kingsway Imperial Neighborhood Association and Edmonds Business and Community Associations. Here's Wyatt Tessari.
Hello everyone. So I was given 1 minute, so I'm going to try to inspire in 1 minute. My fellow Greens, over the years I've heard many progressives speak in hatred of Stephen Harper and much of the damage he has done to this country. And although I can understand this reaction, I think it betrays an unnecessary sense of fear and weakness, and it underestimates the very real power we have here. One of John F. Kennedy's favorite quotes was from Archimedes. "Give me a place to stand, and I will move the world." My friends, don't let the polls or the pundits fool you. Climate change is a place to stand. Democracy is a place to stand. And if we stand strong this election, we have nothing to fear because we will be well on our way to moving this country forward. Thank you.
Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy your kids, actually. I got kids. And you know what? Whatever we think of Peter MacKay, the politician, I know Peter MacKay, the man, probably would like to spend some time with his children. He's going to have lots of time to spend time with his children at the park, pushing them in swings and strollers. I thought that was going to have a bigger cheer than that. Goodbye, Peter MacKay. We'd like to say goodbye to one more of the cabinet ministers, and this is the man that's going to do it. James Moore, the candidate for the Greens in Coquitlam, Brad Nickason.
I just want to make a quick little correction. I'm the candidate from Port Coquitlam, or Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, and I am the person who has the fortunate opportunity to get rid of James Moore. I think the thing that I would like to say the most is thank you to everyone who was here, because it is you people coming out to help the candidates that is the most important thing. By showing up to these kind of events and letting other people see that we have this kind of support, we will be able to build and get past that point where we can start winning enough seats that we can influence the government and make changes for the environment. Thank you so much for coming out today. I think the last thing that I'd like to say is I am most honored to be part of the Green team and having a vision that can see creating an economy that is built on on technology that will take us forward, not technology that will destroy our planet. And that is what you're part of as well. So thank you very much. Make sure that you get out and take all of your friends out to vote green. Speak it up. You are the most important thing in this entire party. Thank you very much.
We're moving closer to Spanish Gulf Islands and Elizabeth May, because I'm going to introduce the candidates that we have running for us in Victoria. And remember, Victoria was the riding in which during a by-election, we came, within 1,000 votes of winning that by-election. This is very, very ripe territory indeed. So it's my true honor to introduce to you Joanne Roberts. You probably know her, even if you aren't in Victoria. Veteran journalist, the respected host of CBC's Arts and Current Affairs program, All Points West. She's taught public broadcasting at UVic, served on university and hospital boards, has been the BC director for Canadian Media Guild, and has said in her bio, concerned about the dismantling of Canada's democracy under Stephen Harper, concerned that Canada does not have a national housing strategy, so here, that Canadians are finding harder to make ends meet, and that the government's prioritization of pipelines and supertankers puts our local environments and our local economies at risk. Joanne Roberts.
Thanks for having us over here today. It's great to be here. You know, people are always asking me, why did you leave the CBC? Why are you running in this election? I thought I'd bring the proof with me. I'm pleased to say that all 4 of our kids are here with us today, but the most important person for all of us is our new grandchild, Georgia Louise, who lives here in Vancouver. And you know what? This is why we're doing this. This generation, Georgia wants a world to grow up in where she can breathe the air, where she can look out and see the orcas in the Georgia Strait. She bears the name of that strait for a reason. So I'm not going to say much. I've had a front row seat on history in Canada for the last 30 years as a journalist. But I left my job because the very values that define us as Canadians are being challenged, and I had to do something. So I decided I would become not just an observer and a reporter, but an active participant in changing this country and actually returning this country to what we know and love, a country that is respected around the world, a country that believes in not just the next generation, but the generation after that. So thank you, Elizabeth May, for inviting me on this journey.
Right, bring babies on the stage. It's fantastic. Marcus brought his dog on the stage. Animals and kids, people love it. It's fantastic. And if you saw, as a politician, you learn pretty quickly that if there's a baby, you just try to give it a kiss. Okay, so we just have 1 minute, a 1 minute commercial from the BC Greens. I don't know if you know, but over on the other side there in East Vancouver, Vancouver Mount Pleasant, Jenny Kwan won the nomination. There will be a by-election, a British Columbia legislature by-election, and our candidate for the BC Greens is here. As Adrian mentioned, yeah, he was a candidate for the Vancouver Greens in the last civic election. We're thankful to be able to have poached him. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Fry.
Hi, everybody. Short mic. Hi, folks. It's great to be here. I really don't want to hijack the federal momentum here, but I totally want to hijack the federal momentum here. Folks, I'm so glad to be here with all you Greens. We got so many great federal candidates. It is kind of sapping a little bit of the energy I need to get my campaign going, but we're still early days. We don't even know when they're going to call the by-election. But I'm super excited. East Van's my home.
it needs the good representation that I know I can bring and help Andrew Weaver at the legislature, because he's doing a lot of work. We're just one guy. We're building it up for 2017, where we're really going to rock it with the BC Green Party. And we're going to take this momentum that we have here with the West Coast Greens, and we're going to bring it to Ottawa, and we're going to bring it to Victoria. We're going to do it. And I want to make one little plug for East Van. If you haven't checked it out, the papusa truck over here, if you've never had El Salvadorian papusa, do check it out. They've done a lot of events in East Vancouver, and they're a fantastic food truck. I know that's totally crazy, but hopefully they'll give me papusas for saying this. Anyway, folks, have a great day. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Go Greens! Go Pete!